This podcast is brought to you by Choke Aloha. Head over to chokealoha.com. Use the promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio and get 20% off. Choke Aloha is a homegrown brand originally based out of Kauai, Hawaii, starring the Aloha for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu through... Oh, did I say starring? It's supposed to be sharing. I can't even read. Anyway, they share the Aloha for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu through premium quality accessories and apparel. Spread Choke Aloha wherever you go and always roll with Choke Aloha. Respect everyone, especially your training partners, always. Except for Shawn. I don't respect you, Shawn. I just wanted to let you know. But...
I don't want your respect.
See? Well, that's good. Well, then you don't have Choke Aloha. No Choke Aloha for you. But you guys can. Go to chokealoha.com. Use the promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio. Get 20% off. Then... you can head over to jiu-jitsusoapco.com. Use the promo code JJRadio. Get 10% off. A lot of people have been asking just exactly what is Jiu-Jitsu Soap Co. Jiu-Jitsu soap products are not made in a large factory. They're not made out of some marketing boardroom. They were created out of a small home-based company after they were trying to find a product that met their needs. After trying expensive products that only seemed to help with one aspect of skin irritation, or inexpensive products that didn't seem to do what they claimed, they began to create a superior product, which I agree, which I also need to get the Tiger Blood antifungal spray. I would suggest you guys try it out. And also pick up some of the bath bombs. They got a couple of new...
bath bombs.
Would they be flavors or fragrances?
Depends.
It depends if
you want to eat
depends
it or
on how
not.
hungry you are, right? So go check it out. Go to jiu-jitsusoapco.com. Use the promo code JJRadio. Also, check out giraffechoke.com. Use the promo code JJRadio and get 20% off on all orders of $50 or more. You see my shirt?
Yeah, it says heel hook.
You know who's never done a heel hook a day in his life?
You.
The guy wearing it. But I'll wear the shirt, so I'll fake it till I make it. Check out Giraffe Choke. Giraffe Choke was a brand built which expresses the fun and camaraderie that exists in martial arts. It's not about puffing your chest or walking aggressively like Shawn tries to do when he walks through his up to his next grinder date. It's more about training hard, sharpening your
skill. It's about setting the tone. You got to set the tone early.
It's all about setting the mood, you know. You're a power bottom.
I don't even know what that means. Like I've heard it said so many times. I have no idea what a power bottom is.
Well, that's a lie. Anyway,
it's not.
Giraffe Choke has some deeply rooted philosophies in traditional martial arts, which they want to share with the world. So go check out giraffechoke.com. Use the promo code JJRadio. And finally, I want to give out a good welcome to our newest sponsor, Monstros Brand. Go to monstrosbrand.com. Use the promo code JJCast15 and get 15% off your order. Did you talk to your boy about hooking us up with those?
What do you mean hooking us up? I already got hooked up.
Son of a bitch!
I'm trying to get you hooked up.
Yeah, I got to get hooked up. I need that Kaiju Jiu-Jitsu shirt.
I already have it.
Kaiju Jitsu. That's really hard to say.
Kaiju Jitsu. It's not that hard.
You've just fucked it up too.
Kaiju Jitsu?
Yeah, okay. It's easy to say the third time around. Anyway, go check out monstrosbrand.com. Use the promo code JJCast15. Big thanks to Monstros Brand for joining the podcast and supporting us. And I think with that, we can get this party started. Let's do this.
You kidding me, boss?
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. And nobody can hang with my stuff.
Get stealing, woo, wheeling, dealing, limousine right, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
All right, we're back.
We're back.
And we're back. Actually, before we start the podcast off, I just wanted to issue a quick apology to our good friends over at the Armory. When Shawn and I were speaking last time, it kind of sounded like we said something wrong. It made it sound like, you know, we aren't good friends with the folks at the Armory. And actually, the Armory is actually one of my favorite places to go and hang out and train. So just want to apologize to our friends over at the Armory. If you guys are ever up in Jupiter, go check them out. They have a great school with an amazing professor. who actually just released a DVD. Who actually the DVD sold out. So congratulations to him. With that being said, we're getting back to our regularly scheduled program, and I have some crazy news for you today.
Oh, here we go.
I actually have
surprise of the week,
and there's like 3 or 4 things, and they just popped up. Let me see. Let me go ahead and fix this computer real quick. I want to make sure that we don't end up crashing while we're recording.
I don't want to have dead air, so let me
go ahead.
Let me begin and go ahead and say that last weekend we had a great show at XFN. It was our first time on Flow Combat, which was rad being on Flow Combat, and got a lot of exposure from that. We were on the newsletter, and
well, I'm glad you brought that up because that was actually one of the things that I was going to
surprise me with. I already knew it.
Well, no, I was going to talk to you about Wagner and Wagner's win over at the XFN grappling competition.
Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't
Combat Jiu-jitsu.
Combat Jiu-jitsu.
And Wagner actually, funny enough, after everything that's been going on, we talked a little bit about it a couple of weeks ago, you and I. There's an article on flowgrappling.com. You guys should really check it out. Written by Will Teague. He's a great writer. He's one of the head guys over at Flow Grappling. And it talks about Wagner and the truth bomb, I guess, he laid out on everybody in regards to his jiu-jitsu. Now, Wagner gets a lot of shit for his jiu-jitsu, especially after what happened at the Kasai Pro 3. Where he beat Marcin Held with the wrist lock.
Which was legit.
It was a legit wrist lock. What I think is funny is that, did you ever play Mercy when you were a kid?
Yes, the same deal.
Right?
But here's the thing. I don't know. Here's the thing. And I talked to Wagner about it the other day. And what he was saying is he doesn't think, I don't think he actually submitted Marcin. Mm-hmm. He thinks Marcin was trying to play the system. Tried to go like, hey, what's going on here? Tried to get him DQ'd.
Yeah.
And it backfired.
So now, I've worked with Marcin before, and obviously like filming and stuff like that. I don't know him that well to know whether or not that's something that he would do. What I do know is that if I was grabbed by Wagner like that, I would tap like that too. And at the end of the day, he tapped. A wrist lock is a wrist lock. It doesn't matter where it comes from. And it was legit. I do think he was trying to play it up. I don't understand why he was trying to play it up. For people that didn't watch the match, basically it lasted all of about 30 seconds. If you ever watch any kind of no-gi matches, even some wrestling matches, the guys will usually grab each other's hands. Very seldom do they actually intertwine fingers. Because there's
Greco-Roman knuckle lock is what they call it in professional wrestling.
So there's a high risk of really, really getting hurt because it's very easy to kind of crack the fingers that way. So Wagner with his right hand grabs Marcin's left hand. They actually ended up intertwining fingers, and Wagner right away started to turn his hand and going for a wrist lock. And Marcin was just kind of like looking at the ref saying, hey, what's going on here? Are you seeing this? And next thing you know, he tapped. Because if you've ever shaken Wagner Roach's hand, it is a very manly, beefy hand. So one way or another, he's getting a hold of you. He's insanely strong.
Now, I just want you guys to hear what Alex said. That was not Shawn saying that Wagner has a manly, beefy hand.
Go shake his hand. He'll say the exact same thing.
Shake his hand the other
You ever
way.
shook Bigfoot Silva's hand?
No. But I did shake the Big Show's hand.
Okay. So
and that's like getting your hand wrapped in a frying pan.
Yeah, that's like, I'm 6'4". I'm a pretty big guy. I've never felt like a little kid at my size until I met Bigfoot and I shook his hand. I'm like, oh, well, I feel like a dainty little lady shaking your hand. Thanks. Anyway, so back to the subject. So Wagner's been getting a lot of heat from this match. So he posted a nice little mini essay.
Hopefully, honestly, you know what I hope it is? I hope it's a fuck you to those people.
I think it's
not
a very polite, educated. It's a very polite, educated fuck you. So to give you kind of the breakdown, and this is what I brought up when I went to go and film Gilbert over at Wagner's gym is that I really kind of got a mini enlightenment about jiu-jitsu. And it's kind of what he says in the post. If you read it, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a pretty long post. But basically, everybody refers to this as the gentle art. And he's like, that's not what jiu-jitsu is. That's bullshit. It's not gentle. You're sitting there, you're supposed to try and break somebody's arms. Now, we're gentle because a lot of us we're what I would refer to as weekend warriors. Even if you train 5 or 6 times a week, to me, you're a weekend warrior unless you're someone like Wagner or Gilbert or any of these guys that compete. That's just the way that it is, you know? So when you see him do certain moves, you're like, oh, that's dirty. That's not dirty. That's grappling. That's jiu-jitsu. If this was a legitimate fight, which technically it is, if it's a legitimate fight where you're defending yourself, which you are, then you're going to go for these things. It's 100% legal. You're grappling. You're fighting for your life. So I see him do stuff which, you know, coming off of the loss that I had in Miami Open, where I was like really upset of like all I got was like stalled out because I didn't want to go to that level of thinking like, oh, what I'm doing is dirty, which is not really dirty. I'm fighting, and that's my mistake. And I learned it from sitting there and, like I said, watching Wagner. Like, yeah, like I should be able to do this. Why don't I do that? Like at the end of the day, I'm trying to achieve a certain goal, and this person's trying to stop me for it. You have to take it to that level. So as much heat as he's getting, I'm 100% with him. I 100% agree with him.
When I tell my white belts that it's the gentle art, it's not that I mean we go easy, and it's what the gentle art means to me. What I've always taken the gentle art connotation for jiu-jitsu to mean is that we don't, if you do it correctly with the correct technique, you shouldn't have to muscle everything you do.
I agree with you, like especially from teaching a white belt point of view, is that you have to use that terminology so you don't end up getting spazzes.
Right, and everybody's a spaz as a white belt. I don't care who you are. Your first time on those mats, you're gonna spaz.
You're a spaz for the first 6 months,
at
really.
At least. So when I explain, so that's what when I think the gentle art, I don't think, oh, we're not trying to hurt each other. I don't think, oh, this move is like wrist locks are dirty or heel hooks are dirty, because they're not to me. They're part of jiu-jitsu. To me, the part that is the gentle art is the fact that if we do our technique correctly, it should not be all muscle, all explosion. It should just get there with the technique.
And here's the thing. Like I said, I agree with the way Wagner looks at it. For me, it was a little bit of not an epiphany. I guess it was like an epiphany of like taking my stuff to the next level. But I think at a certain point, anybody who does jiu-jitsu, once you get past that spaz phase, and you have to really learn how to manipulate your body and understand what you're really, really trying to do, 100%, you have to start doing that kind of stuff. You do. Maybe not as much in training so you don't hurt your partners. I mean, you can still do it without really hurting someone. But at the end of the day, you do have to toughen the fuck up, and you have to do it. I'm not going to read the post that he made because it's kind of long. But I definitely suggest you go and follow Wagner on social media and go read the post, because it is enlightening for some people. Read it with an open mind. Don't be judgmental. Don't be a dick. And just because you don't agree with it right away doesn't mean that it's not truth. So that was one of the things. It's funny enough you brought up the XFN thing, because he was the first one I wanted to talk about. And he's also like a really nice guy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing. He's definitely
He kind of big brothered his opponent.
Yeah,
kind of big brothered him. Like I think Wagner could have submitted him.
Yeah, at any point in time.
At any point in time,
yeah.
Like there was one point where he was just holding onto the foot, and he could have just toe holded him.
Yeah,
with ease, and decided not to. And I don't know if there was something that I said it on the commentary. If you watch the match, you can hear my commentary.
Can they watch it?
They can watch it on Flow. If you have a Flow Grappling account, you can watch the match for sure.
Yeah, so go check it out. Actually, go support XFN. Shout out to my boy Daniel.
And support me, motherfuckers.
Fuck you.
I'm the commentator. I'm the commentator of XFN. I'm Gorilla Boy BJJ.
You are Blake's sidekick. Let's just go ahead and say what it is. You're Blake's sidekick.
No,
Blake runs the show.
We are a
Blake is the
we
one
are
with
a
the
well-oiled
microphone.
machine.
No,
I think he
well oils you.
He is play-by-play. I am color.
Yeah, so play-by-play runs the show. Color is just you sprinkle your fairy dust.
Well, without the color, it would just be drab and black and white, and nobody wants to watch.
Are you
that.
calling my boy Blake?
No, I'm not.
Drab?
Actually, Blake wants to be on the podcast. I told him we'll get him on.
I told him anytime he can come on here. So yeah, shout out to Blake and go support XFN. My boy Daniel and Heim put a lot of work into that, and they do a lot of work. If you guys don't remember, they're the ones I did a lot of work with XFN, taking their photos, and they're an amazing organization.
Yeah, next show's in December. It's going to be an all-pro show, and we're talking. I was talking to them yesterday. Hopefully, we can get a few more. The combat grappling matches were well received, so hopefully we can get a few more of those on the show, and everybody will be happy.
All right. So with that being said, I hate to bring it back down, but I got some more shitty news for you.
Great.
Yeah. Can you guess where this is going?
It's shitty? Is it like did someone poop on the mat?
No, I would have rather that someone pooped on the mat.
Okay.
So this is coming out of NBC San Diego. Jiu-jitsu instructor accused of sex abuse of child confessed. Employer.
Fuck
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
dude.
Another fucking guy. Another week, another fucking guy. Can you believe this? Let me read the article. A Chula Vista jiu-jitsu instructor is in custody, arrested on suspicion of sexually abusing a minor. Gabrielle Gonzalez, 39, is accused of committing a lewd act on a child under the age of 14 and a misdemeanor count of willful cruelty to a child, according to National City Police. He was arrested on Saturday morning. Excuse me. Elias Gallegos was Gonzalez's boss at Alliance Eastlake and the Chula Vista Jiu-Jitsu Club, which he owns. They have been close friends for 15 years leading up to last Friday when Gallegos confronted Gonzalez about the accusations. He took a big, deep breath and he looked at me and said, "Let me explain," Gallegos said. "For me, that was it." And he admitted that he had done what he was accused of. So Gallegos went on to say that Gonzalez told him drugs made him do it. So here we have another guy who he could have been taking steroids or street drugs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a whole article. It's out there.
Drugs don't make you do that. Drugs make you fucking rob people to get your fix. Drugs make you steal from your friends, steal from your family. Drugs make you
do all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of shit. It doesn't make you abuse children.
No, man, it makes you do all kinds of shit. You can't blame it on the drugs. If you're a scumbag piece of shit, you're gonna sit there and blame your fucking uncle and Santa Claus for all that fucking matters. So it's another one of those things that's like, fuck, man, it sucks because we're such a niche community and it keeps on happening. But the way that I see it is, I think this is something that has always gone on and it sucks to think about it this way, but it's something that's always gone on in martial arts school, especially cookie cutter schools, like those fucking fake karate guys, like back in the 80s and 70s or whatever. And it's just because we have people that are maybe stronger, or it's more accepted in society for people to come out and stand up for themselves, that it's coming out more and more. I don't think that this is just a new phase that all of a sudden it's just fucking happening left, right, and center. I think it's just people now are more willing to stand up for themselves. But this is fucked up. Like, this is like a serious thing, like, that people really need to fucking understand. It's a fucking issue.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: it's hard to stop because you don't know who's a sicko. It might not be karate. It could be a surfing school. It could be a tennis, and we've heard it in tennis. We've heard it in football with Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's what it is predators will find a way in however they can get there.
Now, I told you about, like, I went to private school in middle school, right? And it was actually up in Lake Worth. I went to a private school there. And there was a priest there that was the rock star. Everybody fucking loved this guy. He was the Irish priest, like Pastor Ed, like always had funny jokes and stuff like that. He talked to everybody, this, that, and the other. Mind you, I was also an altar boy. So I would also have to go there on Sundays, be up there, do the whole fucking thing and help him out and stuff like that. Then one day he's like, oh, I'm leaving. I have to go. I got a job up in New York. I have to leave. And everybody's like, oh, man.
Real quick, right?
It was super quick. It was really out of fucking left field. And he said, oh, I have heart problems. They said he had a heart attack and all this other stuff. It was really weird. Everyone had different excuses. And the funny part is everybody was super duper fucking sad that this guy left. He's like, oh, he's great, blah, 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 all this other bullshit. So come to find out years and years later, he was actually accused of like molesting kids. And he was accused of doing all this other stuff, and they were like keeping it under wraps. And like the diocese was keeping it under wraps by sending him up to some other like place up in New York. So it's like, it's fucking shady. Like you said, you don't know who the fuck it, like you don't know what happens behind fucking closed doors. And the funny part is I remember we would have to go change in the back. So if I came in on a Sunday, I'd come in early, we'd have to go to the back, and we all had our fucking whatever stupid little robes we had to put on, and they would come back there too. So while we were like changing, getting stuff ready, like they would come in and out. And like, you're all guys, you don't really think about it. But then like after the fact, I'm like, shit. Like I was fucking dodging bullets left and right. I guess I must have not been sexy enough.
You weren't his style.
Yeah, but shit, man. Like, not to make light of the situation, but fuck.
And look, here's the thing. Sometimes you have to make light of the situation,
or you'll go crazy.
Or it's just too negative of a situation. Not that we'd ever like belittle something, but it's like, dude, sometimes you just have to find a way to laugh about things, or else you'll collapse into the black hole of horror that is what it is.
So we'll move on it just because I don't want to fucking have another shitty fucking thing like that. But it's pretty fucked up. I think the real first step to stopping this stuff is that parents need to understand that you can't use these things as babysitters. You can't send your kids out to some school. And it sucks that we can't have that kind of trust in other human beings. But you have to be a parent, and you have to teach your kids. I mean, that's why they're going into jiu-jitsu, to defend themselves from this kind of stuff. And, you know, you have to really kind of keep an eye on your kids and teach them to kind of defend themselves on that stuff. But fuck that guy. So big fuck you to Gabriel Gonzalez on Chula Vista. I hope you meet the booty warrior. How funny was that video?
Yeah.
So if you guys, like we talked about it last week, if you've never heard of the booty warrior, just Google the booty warrior. Preferably not on company time, because you will get in trouble. But it's a fucking hilarious documentary.
Unless you work for yourself, then feel free.
Moving on. Remember we talked about Kevin Lee?
Yes.
So Kevin Lee accepted the match.
Right.
Problem is that it's in the works, but it won't be televised.
I thought it was going to be not televised, but broadcast over
Instagram Live. And Kevin Lee says, like, what's the fucking point of that? It's like, I'm not going to fucking do it. Like, that's too small. Which I agree. He's too big of a draw for him to do it on fucking Instagram Live. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, Kevin Lee's probably got more fans than Dylan Danis does. So it'd be a dumb move for them to do something like this for that much money on Instagram Live. I would honestly say go to Flow Grappling, just do it on Flow Grappling, or see if the UFC will throw. Well, they won't, because he's Bellator, so they won't give him that. But yeah, they should definitely be on Flow Grappling. It seems to me, though, if you listen to the interview on MMA Junkie that Kevin Lee did, I think he screwed up in the conversation, and they're not doing it for $100K. I think they kind of came to an agreement like, hey, let's not fucking put $100K on the line. Let's just do this, talk shit, and just go about our business. That's what it seems like to me, because when they ask him about it, you know, they're like, why won't you televise it, whatever. He's like, what do I care? He's like, well, you got $100,000 on the line. Oh, no, he said something like, oh, if I lose, I lose. Big deal. I grapple every day. What do I care? And they're like, oh, there's $100K on the line. He's like, oh, yeah. And, you know, it's 100 G's. It would suck, but, you know, whatever. I'm like, I don't know if you fucking dropped the ball on that one or he kind of slipped up on it.
Well, here's the thing. I get the added incentive of throwing the money in there, but dude, it doesn't need it. If this is for bragging rights.
Fuck that. How can you say it doesn't need it? For sure it needs it.
Would you watch it regardless if there was $100,000, $200,000 on the line?
I wouldn't.
Or not?
I would not be as inclined to make sure I didn't miss it. If you're telling me someone could lose $100,000, I'd be like, oh, I have to watch this. I have to see someone's fucking spirit crumble live on television. But if you're telling me, no, that's just another like jiu-jitsu grappling match, like, okay, cool. I'll watch it afterwards when I'm done. Like, that's the thing. That $100,000 just puts that little bit of bait on the whole thing where it's like, oh, who's got a lot of explaining to do to the wife or girlfriend when they come home. For Kevin Lee, I think it's like girlfriend, wife. For Dylan Danis, it's Connor.
Wait, are you saying that?
Totally saying what I exactly meant to say.
Yes. Are you saying that Dylan Danis is Connor's bitch?
He wears him.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Alex?
What's the phrase? I'm saying he wears him like a pinky ring. Yeah. Speaking of rings, have you ever heard the term degloving?
Of course. That's why I told people not to wear their rings.
Okay, so there's an Instagram account that I follow. Let me bring this back up. I forget the actual name. But for those of you that don't know, degloving is the medical term for when someone basically
rips the meat off their finger.
Down to the bone.
Down to the bone.
It's like you're literally taking the sleeve off of a jacket.
And it happens when you wear a metal ring. It happens a lot to people who work with heavy machinery and stuff like that, and they wear a metal ring and it gets caught on something. Or it also happens in grappling for people who wear their wedding rings while grappling and get it caught in a shirt or a gi or, somebody's nutsack. I don't know.
Yeah. So I advise you, if you have a strong stomach like me and you're just completely desensitized to the world, to follow the Instagram account Mrs. Angemi. It's Mrs. MRS_ANGEMI. Mind you, I gave you the warning. So this lady is I guess she does autopsies. She's a doctor. She does all this stuff. And she posted this photo. You ready for this?
Yep.
Oh, because this is amazing.
Ooh.
And when I'm talking about degloving, think of your last knuckle on your ring finger, and from there to the fingertip is just nothing but bone.
Well,
There's the bottom.
They can't fix that.
Oh yeah, of course you can't fix it. We're not fucking reptiles.
Even if they had everything like the skin and the meat and all that shit, the only thing they can do is amputate.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
there's no saving that finger.
This guy is permanently throwing the shocker, without a question. So 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink for this guy for life. So I was thinking of all the times that I was rolling with someone and said, bro, you sure you want to keep that on? Mm-hmm. Like, you sure you want to have that on? So this guy, the one in the Instagram photo, I guess he was jumping a fence, and when he got down to the other side, he slipped and it got caught.
Oh!
And I've gotten close to it. I've actually gotten close to having that. I was playing basketball in one of those old school fucking lots that has the chain nets instead of the cloth ones. And my dumb white ass thought I could dunk at that point in time in my life, which I couldn't. Now I can, but I couldn't back then. My hand skims the chain net on the way down, and it catches a hook. And I literally filleted the very first layer of my finger from the bottom knuckle to the fingertip. It was just like, when you see those infomercial videos of a knife just taking that super thin layer of tomato.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened on my finger.
Right hand or left hand?
Right hand, so I was lonelier than usual.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
I'll cut you off to the joke, asshole.
Looks like you had to take a break.
It was a high school. It was a tough time.
Yeah,
tough times all around.
Definitely.
That's when you learn about becoming ambidextrous.
But that's why, if you do jiu-jitsu or any combat sport or any sport, invest.
Don't wear fucking jewelry.
No, and if you want to wear your wedding ring, invest in those Kahlo rings or any of those cheap silicone rings that you can buy off of Amazon or wherever.
You could go to Walmart and they cost like $2.
Yeah, silicone. If that gets caught, it rips. It's gone.
Yeah.
Bye. But your finger stays safe. And
if your wife is that insecure, bro, where she makes you wear your jewelry when you're rolling, we got other things to deal with. But yeah, no, definitely. Do not wear jewelry while training.
Well, sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes people wear their ring for so long that they can't even get it off.
Yeah. Sure. And that's why I'm actually like a big proponent for just doing the tattoo thing.
I'm not even I just say wear the rubber ring or take your ring on and off daily so it never gets stuck.
Yeah. You can get it adjusted. You can always go and get it adjusted. The older you get, the looser your meat flaps get. So I would say, don't wear jewelry. Definitely go follow her because it's a hilarious and
like
disturbing.
even the bottom digit was gone.
No, it was all gone.
The bottom digit. I don't know where that went.
No, that's gone.
It's gone.
I'm talking about it's down to the bone. Like you would see like a skeleton. It's past that last knuckle up to the fingertip.
Imagine what gone. Would you be looking at it the whole time? Would you not look at it the whole time on the way to the hospital?
I would look at it.
Would you be like, what the fuck?
I would totally look at it because that's the last chance you get to see like your bone outside of a super gruesome injury like that. When I broke this one, so I actually did break that exact same finger from that photo. I broke it, and just past the knuckle, I was a white belt, spaz white belt, training with another spaz white belt, and we were practicing like the Torianda passes. So I had the pant legs. And the guy I was training with just kicked at the worst possible time. We hadn't even started yet.
Probably right when you were going to grab it.
Yeah, and he just pulled it. I just heard a giant pop. It sounded like I instantly thought it sounded like a carrot snapping. And I looked down, and my finger from that knuckle on was all the way, like my ring fingernail was touching the bottom of my index finger, like meat, like past the knuckle. So it was like I could have touched it with just making a fist. Super gross. Popped it right back into place. Actually, Professor Fernando was there. He was the one that helped me out. But that was the last time where you're like, oh, yeah, I definitely broke my finger. So I would definitely be desensitized to watch it. I've seen it. I have a high pain tolerance, so I would be like, oh, hey. Plus, I'm nosy. I'd want to like just check out to see how my finger works.
Yeah, I don't know. If something like that happens, I don't know.
Are you would you faint? Would you be like, oh?
I don't think I'd faint, but I'd be like...
You look like you would faint.
I don't know if I would faint because I don't faint. If I were ever to faint...
Yes, you do. We've talked about it.
No, that wasn't fainting. That was laughing so hard I had lost all the oxygen in my lungs.
That's what fainting is.
No, I passed
called
out.
Being a bitch.
No. There's a difference between passing out and fainting.
What's the difference?
Fainting you do from an event.
What do you got to go to a fucking marathon to faint?
No. What I'm saying is the horror of an event causes you to faint.
But it doesn't cause you to black out.
No, what causes you to black out is a physical ailment. Like laughing so hard.
How do you live your life with bullshit? And
that is not bullshit. That is
for sure.
That is not.
I would have agreed with you if you would have said fainting is more from lack of blood to the brain.
No, but it's not.
You just like
it's not. People, if you faint, it's because there's not an actual event. Like there's not an actual anything physical happening to you. Like
that's not true.
Let me explain.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Let me explain.
Can I finish?
Can I finish? So, passing out, the reason I passed out was because I laughed so hard that I could not, I had just lost all my air and I had no blood go to my brain.
Right. Which is still on my bucket list to make things happen, by the way. My goal is to make you laugh so hard that you black out.
The fainting happens when you get lightheaded from a horror or a shock or something that your brain mentally can't handle. That's what fainting is.
Okay, you're going to stick with that?
Yes.
Because I'm going to Google it right now.
I don't fuck Google.
Difference between fainting and passing out. Would that work for you as a definition? Faint, blackout, swoon, pass out, they're all names for the same thing. A temporary loss of consciousness followed by a fairly rapid and complete recovery. That's from Harvard University Health, my friend.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean, that does not take a lot of things into consideration.
You know what's one of the funniest fucking videos you'll ever see in your life?
What?
Videos of people blacking out on roller coasters.
Oh,
Have
yeah,
you
I love
seen
that. Or the slingshot.
The slingshot is
The
bad.
slingshot is awesome.
But if you ever want to laugh your fucking ass off, there's a video of this kid. I want to say it was like Cedar Rapids or something, and it's on a roller coaster. So you know that first part, that initial build up, that you hear chunk 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 chunk, or you're getting pulled up. As soon as he gets to the top, this is the best video of all time. Someone edited the video to add the windows shutting down reset.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
So as soon as it goes down, like dee-doo-doo-doo, and then he comes back to, and they turn doo-doo-doo. Oh, it's so fucking
And he does it like 3 or 4 times throughout the ride.
It's so, for sure it's bad. He had to have gotten some kind of neurological problem from that. Because you cannot turn on, shut off that many times in a row without something happening to you. For sure.
It's what that is your brain cannot handle what it is experiencing.
Well, there's people that faint from seeing blood. So
Yeah, that's a faint.
Yeah.
That's you're a pussy. You know, if fainting happens when you're a pussy, passing out happens when shit happens.
You know who's bad with that? Is Joe, our buddy from Hardway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so remember the time I broke this hand? I broke this bone like the Wednesday before a tournament. And it snapped. It snapped really bad. So you could see an indentation. So basically, since you guys can't see it, I broke the metacarpal on my right hand.
Why are your hands so dainty that they keep breaking?
Because I got big hands. You wouldn't know with your little midget hands.
My hands are the same size. Our hands are the same size.
You are like...
Our hands are the same
you're
size.
You're a circus midget with an allergic reaction. Look at that big guy.
Look at that.
Look at that. See that?
Same size.
Bigger, son. You see that little
same
tab?
size.
Don't.
You got like a quarter. Not even. You got like a quarter inch, and you got 3 inches of height on
that. Quarter inch goes far with the ladies. Just saying. No, so I broke this bone and
your dainty hand.
My dainty man hands. And Joe comes up. He's like, "Oh, dude, you were right." And right as he was coming up, I was like, "Oh yeah, no problem. I'll pop it right in." So what happened is like it literally was like an indent. So I could see how it snapped. So all I did was I clenched my fist really hard and popped everything back up into place. And it was right as he was like looking at my hand. I was like, "No, I got it." Click, and I just see him like, he turned around, and it was for sure. If it was something that involved maybe a more stronger visual, he would have passed out for sure. But I saw his hand, like, his face just go like, he turned around and bolted. I was like, what's wrong? Come on, buddy. I'm just totally desensitized to that stuff. I've seen...
There's only, like, I'm not good with, like, I don't like to watch, like, there was a video on somebody, I was scrolling yesterday on Facebook, and someone showed a video of this lady deliberately running over 2 dogs.
You saw that in Brazil?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it on World Star this morning.
And I can't watch that. I can't watch animals get hurt.
Yeah, that I can't watch.
The other thing I can't watch is I can't watch when heel hooks or arm bars are about to snap. I can't watch it. I can't sit there and watch it. I'm like, I'm like, oh, don't God, just tap. And I'm like looking through my fingers. But what I'm also doing is hoping that I don't hear it.
Oh, see,
because the sound of it is the worst.
I can watch it. I'll watch it all the way through. It's the sound that'll catch me, but I will laugh. Like, I will laugh. Like, it's definitely one of those things that I'm completely desensitized. Did I ever show you the video of the guy in Haiti that had the broken arm for like 2 years?
The one that throws it around like a...
No. He doesn't throw it around. He's been using it. If you guys Google...
Mikey Spaghetti Arms?
Mikey Spaghetti Arms. No, it's I want to say, what is it, like Doctors Without Borders or something like that. Just look at Doctor Haiti broken arm. And this doctor is like, you see the video, starts up, he's on a boat, he's going to some island, and he tells a story. He's like, yeah, we heard a story of this guy who broke his arm like 2 years ago and never had it set it properly in, but supposedly he can still use the arm, no problem. I've never heard of anything like this, so we're going to go see if we can go help him out. So he finds the guy, and they're just sitting on the beach. The guy's like, all right, let me see your arm. So you look at the guy. The arm looks fine.
Then he moves it out of place.
And no, he doesn't move it out of place. He's like, can you show me? And then he makes like a curling motion, like he's like curling like a dumbbell, and his arm gets an extra like 90-degree turn into it. So it looks like a step. So it's like, there's one up bend, there's another one. And he's like, so it doesn't hurt? He's like, no, it hurt for the first couple of weeks, and then after that, it's just whatever. Like, I didn't feel it anymore. He's like, it's amazing what the human body can do. Like, no, it's not amazing. It's a fucking broken arm, and he just killed all the nerves.
So, Steve Irwin?
No, Steve Irwin died. This guy survived.
Is he Australian?
No, he was...
then why'd you break it? You broke into an Australian accent there, kind of.
I think he did. I think he was, actually. Now that you mention it, I think he was. He might have been British.
Oh, look at this beauty.
So, anyway, yeah, go check out that account. We kind of wandered off a little bit. And then finally, what I wanted to bring up is there's a interview from, I guess it was the World Masters.
Wait. Before we get into that, back to the Australian thing real quick.
G'day.
I love Australian people.
Shout out to Bibi.
I really do. I love Australian people. But for some reason, not all the time, but sometimes, I find an Australian accent extremely annoying.
Example?
No, just no example. Just sometimes I just find it. Sometimes it's fine,
right?
And I'm like, oh, they're Australian, blah blah blah. Sometimes I'll hear an Australian accent, and I'm like, oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Why?
I don't know. Why is the sky blue? Why is Positrack on a Plymouth work?
What?
That's
are you talking
That's
about?
from Joe Dirt.
I haven't watched that forever.
Why is the sky blue?
I can't disagree.
How exactly is a rainbow made? How
more-
exactly does the Positrack on a 68 Plymouth work? It just does.
I'm like that.
I don't know why it's like that.
I'm like that for certain British accents. Certain British accents, like the super slack-jawed ones, I'm just like, please don't talk. Let's just move on. We can stick to sign language. But I love Australian people.
Australian people. Don't get me
people are the
wrong.
shit.
And that's why I said that. I love Australian people.
Yeah, Australian people are the shit.
I just for some reason once in a while their accent is like grates on my ear holes.
Just like any other
Which I'm sure my voice does that to people too.
Yeah,
I'm sure people will hear my voice and go, that guy sounds like he's got a mouthful
cock in his fucking mouth. Big old BBC in his bearded jaw. I mean, I can see that, but everybody's got a different accent. Don't be so judgmental, Shawn.
I'm not judging.
Okay, so the last thing that I was going to point out, there's not a lot written on it, but it's a great interview to go check out. Roberto Jimenez blasts steroid use in jiu-jitsu. So if you haven't seen this, newly promoted brown belt Roberto Jimenez believes there's a problem with steroid use in jiu-jitsu, and he's not afraid to say so. So much that he actually got a little bit of crap. What are you doing, Petey? Just go ahead and step on my backpack. That's cool.
He stepped in it. He didn't step on it. He stepped in it.
So, Roberto Jimenez, sorry for the sidetrack. He had a patch put onto his gi before his tournament that said something about like all natural, no steroids in jiu-jitsu, something like that. And it's actually, all natural, steroid-free BJJ. And he put it on his ass. That's where he put the patch. And then he proceeded to do his best impersonation of Ace Ventura. When he just starts to speak from his butt cheeks. And he just literally bent over with his ass towards the crowd, spread his butt cheeks, and showed his patch. Now, mind you,
Love.
yeah, when he's like, "Asshole mio." So anyway, he makes a lot of valid points, which I think you and I have spoken about before, that there is rampant use of steroids in jiu-jitsu, and nobody really...
Paul Harris.
What? Paul Harris.
No, what?
Can you go ahead and blow out my
sneezed.
mic some more?
I
No.
sneezed. Sorry.
But he doesn't...
You didn't say God bless you.
Well, yeah, I don't have
Or
to.
Gesundheit. Something. You
I
should
don't have to.
You should say something when somebody
Say-
sneezes like that.
Yeah, please don't sneeze.
Okay.
Just,
Sorry.
yeah, please. Try not to get your AIDS on my microphones. No, yeah, there's a rampant use of steroids in jiu-jitsu, and nobody gets called out for it. And the couple of times that they do, they kind of get away with it. I mean, let's be honest. Who's the only person that's really gotten busted for steroids? Meow. Remember, he got
Oh,
banned for a
yeah,
year.
that's right.
That's it. And then there was somebody else, I forget who it was, that he won Worlds. And then a year later, they said, oh, by the way, you tested positive for steroids. So even though he made all this money for this entire year as a world champion, now they take it away. So,
What I want to know is who do they test? The champions?
supposedly they got to test pretty much everybody, or like it'll be like a random test. But even then, it's kind of like...
That's an impossibility to test everybody.
Sorry, I'm eating. It is impossible, and it's too much money. But
So I bet you they post test.
they pick one or two people. I know.
I would say they would. The smart thing to do would be to post test the champions.
Well, I mean, like Mikey's gotten tested.
Yeah.
He posts up his results. A lot of times, people post up their results and show it.
And here's the thing: the thing about Mikey, I've witnessed Mikey. You've witnessed Mikey. What Mikey and both he and Tammy, they have incredible work ethics.
Yeah.
I've never seen people work as hard as they do at such a young age to
Yeah.
be what they are. And I don't mean just in jiu-jitsu. I mean school, all that stuff. Those two are...
When someone says they eat, live, breathe jiu-jitsu, they do not.
Yeah.
Mikey sleeps, eats, poops, everything jiu-jitsu. Everything that he does is with a certain goal in mind or a purpose in jiu-jitsu.
And Mikey loves pasta.
He loves it.
It's his favorite food.
He's like a Ninja Turtle, but instead of
It's
pizza, it's pasta.
And he avoids it for 98% of the year in order to compete and
Which
be...
is insane to be able to do, like, to work like that with no carbs.
Well, he has carbs. He just doesn't do pastas.
Yeah, but pasta is such a good carb.
Well, yeah, but there's other more natural carbs out there, which, you know, they've basically him and Tammy have lived like professional athletes since they were teenagers.
No, even before that, since they were like 8. When they really first started doing jiu-jitsu and they were little kids, before they were teenagers.
He was 4, she was 6 when they started.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, but whatever, man. I was going to tell you something, and I totally... Oh, so you missed out. We had a good weekend over at the car show this weekend.
I saw the pictures. It looked like you guys had a good time.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was fun. So this past weekend, a couple of the Temple crew members and I all went over there, and we
Who'd you
checked
ride
out the
over
car
with?
show. The wifey.
Oh, you didn't get a ride in a cool car. You had to ride your piece of shit.
Don't hate on my vehicle, bro. Don't hate on the Ford Escort.
I'm jealous of your vehicle.
I did actually get to ride on the back seat of the El Camino, the 75er. Awesome ride. Shout out to Brooks. Congratulations to the news car. But what's funny is that there's so many classic cars there, and there was this one guy. It's kind of crazy to see the attachment people have on their cars, and it's understandable, but it's crazy to see like how each one means something different to every person. There was this guy who had to be like 70, maybe older, and he had an old I want to say it was like an old Cadillac, whatever the fuck it was, an old Chevy. Anyway, he had roses etched into the glass and painted all on the back window, on the side window. And then I noticed it's only on the right side.
Where his wife probably
used to be. And he was so adamant about telling me, oh, go check out this, and that. And I was like, fuck. This car literally means everything to this guy. He probably met his wife. What? Yeah.
It's like John Wick's dog.
Right, exactly. Where he loses the wife.
Where it means it's a lot more than just a dog. It's an idea. It's the last gift. Or, maybe he had his wife and him, that was their first car that they
yeah, that was probably the first date. Oh, shit. You just fucking reminded me of a crazy fucking story. Did I ever tell you about the couple that I knew when I was a dog trainer?
No.
So I was a dog trainer for about a year. And this was like in between trying to do all my stuff in the music industry. I came back from going out on tour, didn't have a gig, so I needed to get a job. And I got hooked up with being a dog trainer out at PetSmart. I ended up meeting this old lady who had this like shitty little fucking dog that was, the kind that's like in the shopping cart.
Oh yeah.
And just barks at everybody. So I told her, you need to get that dog trained. Like, that dog's a piece of shit right now. Like, it's gonna bite somebody and you're gonna get in trouble. So she comes in, starts taking like private classes, and she came with her husband. High school sweethearts. They were both in like their 80s. High school sweethearts. He like went to the war, came back, all this stuff. He was starting to get Alzheimer's and like dementia and stuff. So little by little, like, he was slipping in. So like, anytime they would come take classes, he was cool. Maybe he'd have like one or two little like split-second moments. But anyway, so 8 weeks I do training with this lady. The dog like completely changes. So then I tell her, I'm like, look, now you have to do the group classes because you got to train your dog to be socialized with other dogs. And it's basically the same course. And around week 2 or 3 of the training course, you teach them how to walk with the dog, how to properly walk the dog. And the way that they taught us to teach it was, if the dog starts yanking at you like to go in a certain direction, you just turn about face and go the other way. So we have a class, I want to say it was like a Friday night, and again, she's done this with me before, so it was nothing new. Sunday, I get a phone call from the husband in tears, absolute tears, bawling. We're talking about a man who's been in the war. He's in absolute tears. He's like, hey, I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I just wanted to let you know she got into an accident and she's in the hospital, and the doctor said that she's probably not gonna make it. Ugh. I'm like, oh fuck. And like, this is a grown man crying. And I'm asking what happened. So it turns out that she was walking the dog, and whatever, like, the dog started to pull. So she turned around, and as she turned around, the dog wrapped the leash around her legs. She trips, smashed her head on the sidewalk. She was fine. She didn't pass out or anything, but she complained about a headache. So they rushed to her to the hospital, ER and stuff like that. And she's complaining about this headache. It's getting worse and worse. Turns out that because she hit her head, she got like a blood clot or like an aneurysm or whatever in between the two hemispheres of her brain, making it completely impossible to get to. So he's like, bro, it fucking hurts like thinking about it because it was so bad. So he's telling me, it's like the doctors say she's not going to make it, but I just wanted to thank you because the last 3 or 4 months that she's been working with you and being so happy with the dog is the happiest she's been in years, and it's the closest we've been in years, because they were going to get rid of the dog, but she loved the dog, and it brought them even closer together, because he would come into every class. So this man is crying on the fucking phone, and I'm sitting there like holding back tears, like fuck. And I didn't know what to fucking do. I'm like, what can I say, And this is literally the love of his life, the high school sweetheart, the fucking American tail down to the fucking T, And come about, I got that phone call Sunday. Come about like Tuesday morning, I find out she passed away. She died. and they kept the dog, but he couldn't look at the dog anymore. He's like, I'm about to fucking throw this dog out the window. He's like, I can't look at the dog without thinking of her. So I'm like, listen, he gives the dog to his daughter-in-law and the son, and they call me up saying they don't know what to do. And I was like, listen, bring the dog in, come in, I'll teach you the same things I was teaching her. I'll train you so you can keep the dog. I'm like, you can't get rid of that dog. Like, that's the only thing left of her. And I didn't charge him anything. I was like, it's on me. Like, I'll pay for it. Like, I'll teach you. I'll sit here like for an entire year if I have to, but you're keeping that dog. And the guy after that, he was just completely fell into it.
Yeah, he went downhill.
He went completely downhill. Yeah, he gave
up.
up.
He had no reason to try to.
For sure. Like, that was literally the only thing that was, like, keeping him going. It was the craziest thing, man. It fucking broke my heart. To this day, when I really think about it, like, fucking kills me.
Yeah.
So that's, like, when I sit there and think, like, the weird things that people have attachment to is pretty nutty.
Yeah, thanks for bringing the podcast down.
Yeah, no problem. No, it's you know what? It's a sad story, but it's one of those things. It's like you learn to like, fuck, man, you really appreciate the small things like that. Like, I'm super close to my dog. Like, that dog saved my life for sure.
And my dog's right here.
Yeah, Petey's right here. So he's the best. But anyway, yeah, that was a fucking crazy ass fucking.
So
story.
let's get back to the car
thing.
show. If you could have a classic car, what would be your top three?
Ferrari.
Like that red one you took the picture of?
No, it's Ferrari. I want to say either Mythos, which was like a one-time make. Like, you won't see. Like, you got to look up the photo.
Did it look like the one in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No, that's like the Testarossa. No, it looks more like the Enzo, but it was like a topless car. It was a prototype.
Okay.
I would say that one. I would say a DeLorean, legit DeLorean, even though like it could only go like 50 miles an hour. And
They went fast.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, it didn't. It had a Lotus engine, but the car was so heavy because it was stainless steel. It fucking chucked.
I was in one. My old boss had one. We went way above 50.
Okay, 55. I'm so sorry.
No, we're doing like 85, 90.
Impossible. The thing only goes up
not-
to like 80, 90.
That's not true.
I refuse to believe you were fucking redlining.
We were in a DeLorean on 95 doing like 85, 90.
Anyway, DeLorean. And I would say the last one would probably be classic car, right? The hot rod. Yeah, my hot rod. The hot rod that I want to build. An old like 30s
Model T
Ford.
or whatever?
No, the 30s Ford. The Model T was like the first car off the line. But it's like the old 36, like bucket seats, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're totally apart on what we would want.
Yeah.
My first one would be
The clown car.
Trans Am.
Oh, the fucking Burt Reynolds. Firebird. Right.
Fucking
Classic
Trans Am
fucking
classic. Same colors, black exterior with the
Smokey and the
gold.
Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Right.
I would also take a Dodge Charger,
Nice.
a la Dukes of Hazzard, with or without the rebel flag on the top.
Right.
But that orange fucking Dodge Charger was the shit.
Yeah. Despite
And-
its racial connotations.
Yes. Or I would take my grandfather had an 82 or an 80 no. It was like a 78, 79 Chevy truck. That was just square, and it had it was green with a white stripe down the sides and like gold trim. It had like green seats. I can remember it to this day. But that square fucking old school
Shape. Yeah.
Chevy truck.
Fucking love those.
My grandfather was supposed to give me that truck.
And then he said, nah, you a bitch, boy. This is my truck.
No, what he did was he left it in a shed up in New York.
Oh.
And when he went to get it, it was all kinds of fucked up. There were so many things wrong with it just because it was sat unused and like the tires were rotting off of it.
Yeah.
for it went through Western New York winters where they get the lake effect on
You ever seen-
Lake Erie and on Lake Ontario, so it gets really cold in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So-
You ever seen those guys that end up like just finding an old barn or something?
Dude,
and
they
open it up?
just found. I just saw this story on Reddit. Someone just found one of those Shelby
Cobras. Yeah.
sitting in somebody's old yard.
Somebody actually found
The Aerosmith
the
van?
Aerosmith tour truck.
The original tour van thing.
It's like, yeah, like those people. Can you imagine? Like, oh, I just bought this fucking lot of land for $100,000. I'm probably just gonna resell it later on. It's like, oh, check out the barn. It's I remember someone did that. They found a barn that had a lock on it. No one had been there for years. Open it up, and there was millions of fucking dollars worth of classic cars in there. Just like old classic cars, and they were still in amazing fucking condition. They had been sitting there untouched. Can you imagine that?
Were the keys in there?
Yeah, it was someone just fucking stockpiling fucking cars. And funny enough though, you're talking about the Dukes of Hazzard car. So when we lived in Italy, my dad had a car kind of like that. He fucking loved that car. So we were packing up to go on vacation, and we would leave to go camping for like 2 weeks. This is back in Italy. We lived on the 3rd floor, so I remember this fucking clear as day. If you ever want to piss off my dad, ask him about this story. So I had to be like 4 years old at the time. So he had parked the car under the balcony. It was like a weird complex. Whatever.
So you guys were dropping shit down to each other?
No, not yet. He's backing up the car. He's fucking done. So he's getting everything in there. He looks up at me and just sitting there over the balcony because that's super fucking safe. He's like, throw me a hammer. I'm like, no problem. I go back. My mom's in the kitchen. I'm like, Dad wants a hammer. So he gives me the hammer. And I remember leaning over the balcony, reaching out with the hand over, and I hear him, no. And I let go of the hammer. And I watched it slow motion just fall, hit the back window, smashed it into a million fucking pieces. And I see him just drop his head like, fuck. I ran and just did a full MLB slide under the bed to hide because I knew I was in trouble. And he just came up. He's like, it's not your fault.
Yeah, I told you to throw me a hammer.
I told you to throw me a hammer. He had to go unpack the whole fucking car, repack a whole other one. And we ended up leaving like hours late because of it.
So it's a running joke in my family that I have no handyman skills whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a running joke with everybody.
So, but there's a reason for this. I wanted to learn all that shit.
Right.
I wanted to learn how to fix cars. I wanted to do that shit. I was a little kid, and my grandfather would be fixing something, and I would crawl under the car with him or whatever, and he would shoo me away because he was so afraid that the car was going to roll and I was going to get run over. So anytime I got interested in this stuff, which I would have been as a kid, as a 3-year-old kid working next to his grandfather under the car, he would shoo me away.
Yeah.
And then that was with everything my whole life until I got old enough to, like, where they trusted me, like I was 12 or 13, and they're like, oh, you can do it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that shit now.
Yeah.
I'd rather be sitting in here reading comic books and fucking playing Atari.
See, I was the opposite. I didn't want to do any of that shit. My dad used to take me to construction sites and all that stuff. He'd teach me everything. Like, my form of fun used to be like he'd make me go outside and rotate the tires. I would have to go change the oil on the car. I fucking hated it. Now I'm like, fuck, I wish I could do that again. I fucking hate, like...
Real life.
I hate taking my fucking car to these dodos. Like, I told you what happened at Ford. They, like, fucking left tools in my car and shit. All kinds of stuff. I can't fucking stand that shit. But, yeah, you need to learn how to fucking wield a hammer, man.
I can wield a hammer.
You can't do shit.
Oh, I know. I can do wood. And I have...
We have video evidence that the most you can do is vacuum.
No,
Steps.
I can do wood. I can build shit out of wood. I've always...
What have you built out of wood?
I've built a shit ton of ramps when I was a kid, and there's a shelf...
Did you do it with plans, or did you do it out of...
Out of my head.
Okay.
And then there's a shelf unit, not a unit, but I built this shelf thing in my garage that I didn't have any fucking plans for it. I just saw the idea for it in my head. if my house blows away in a hurricane, those shelves will they'll still be there. I'm really good with wood for some reason, and then I really planned. There's a place in Fort Lauderdale that's a blacksmith school, and I'm once I graduate from college in December, I'm probably gonna go there.
That'd be cool.
And take there's a Groupon for it. It's like $200, and you get 3 lessons, and then you get like 60 hours in the forge.
You got I want to do the that glass blowing class that they have.
Fuck glass blowing.
That'd be kind of cool.
Because I have this theory.
What's that?
If the shit hits the fan,
well, what do you need to know?
If the shit hits the fan, I need something that I can trade with.
If you want something to really teach you that, go watch that fucking primitive technology guy.
The guy that builds houses out of nothing.
Fucking mud and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I'm talking about if I know how to make steel and
look up Purgatory.
Steels.
I think Purgatory Ironworks. Yeah. That guy had a YouTube channel.
If I can make knives and spearheads and arrowheads,
there's a ton of those guys.
Then
on YouTube.
I'm golden.
I watch that shit all the time.
And then the thing is if the shit hits the fan, bullets become in short supply. So you need to be able to make arrows and arrowheads
spears and all that stuff.
All that kind of shit. So if I can learn how to make that shit,
definitely primitive technology.
Yeah.
Primitive
and I'm
technology.
not saying shit's going to hit the fan, but
you
never
know.
fucking know.
Yeah. Look, man, if fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson has a bug out fucking shack, then everybody kind of needs one.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
If the smartest man in the world.
So, well, I wouldn't say he's the smartest man in the world, but he's pretty close. There's a bunch of other people that you just because you don't know them, you don't see them on TV all the time.
He's the smartest man in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Once Stephen Hawking died, he became the smartest man in the world.
I don't know about all that. I mean, Elon Musk is doing pretty good for himself.
No, there's a difference between brilliant and smart. Elon Musk has got the golden touch.
For sure. But he's going after pedos hard. He's going after that guy in the Philippines or whatever pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, well, Elon Musk, I think, might have popped the synapse or something. He's been going crazy lately.
Well,
you heard what he did with the stocks.
Yeah. He fucked with people pretty hard. You could go to jail for that shit, can't you?
Yeah, it's almost insider trading. I don't know.
I don't know if it's insider trading, but it's
a threat. It's like some kind of market manipulation.
Yeah, it's market manipulation. You could definitely get in trouble for that. But in his defense, though, he said like he was thinking about it, and then people kind of freaked out. So people that don't know, Elon Musk had an interview where he talked about thinking about taking Tesla private. So because of that, people rushed to go buy stocks in Tesla. And then he changed his mind. He's like, no, I'm going to keep it public.
Well, the people rushed to buy it, but the price dropped dramatically. So it's
he has been going like fucking balls to the wall because he had to meet the deadline to make the production of the new car.
Which they met.
But he was like sleeping in his office under his desk, like not showering for days.
He said, anybody want this job?
Yeah. You know what though? I respect that because that's the same kind of grind that he was doing back with Amazon.
No, PayPal.
PayPal, sorry. It's the other guy that had Amazon. What's his face?
Jeff Bezos?
Bezos, yeah. He's a kind of a douche now, but if I had that much money, I would be too. For sure, I would be such a douchebag.
It's the first $1 trillion company.
And Apple just went into the trillion.
When?
Like 2-3 weeks ago. Apple became a $1 trillion company.
As well?
I believe so.
I don't think so.
Look it up. I'll type it up right now. I know for a fact.
I'll go to my finance.google.
So yeah, it's Elon Musk. Actually, know who I would fucking kill to have lunch with just an hour, 2 hours of his time? Is Warren Buffett.
I don't know, man. Warren Buffett, like, I get it. Warren Buffett is one of the best traders of all time. There's a bunch of stuff that you can
Warren
say
Buffett
about.
Or Richard Branson. Richard Branson is like a hero. Oh, did it
Market
not?
cap $1.8 trillion.
Oh, you dick, bitch. I don't watch the news too often, but when I do, I let it be fake
Warren
news.
Buffett has got a simple plan. And here we are talking finance on a jiu-jitsu.
Well, you know what? These fucking people need to learn how to make
Yeah.
money because I actually want to fucking go off on so many of these fucking fighters, man.
Did you see that meme I posted?
No, what?
Or I sent to the group? It was basically everybody trying to make money in jiu-jitsu when there's no fucking money in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. But anyways, with Warren Buffett has been trading since he was like 11 years old.
Younger. He made his like a ton of money selling like knives door to door and all that shit.
But no, I'm talking trading.
Yeah.
Trading. What he's got like a simple process. It all comes down to data. What makes Warren Buffett successful is he scrutinizes everything.
Yeah.
And he's a contrarian. Contrarians, I'm a big fan of being a contrarian thinker. So if everybody's selling, he's buying.
Yeah.
If people are buying, he's selling. Whatever the masses do, he does the opposite.
No, but he does such a good job at seeing things in the long term. He's all about long term. And the funny thing is what I really learned from him and like reading his books and stuff like that is how to do the research for long term stock investing, to like really look at the long-term things and looking at the technology like, okay, well, how's everything going, what do they use, and then going down to the granular level of at the actual I guess elements or whatever you would say, the components that are made up for whatever it is that they're trying to sell. And that's how you can see how things change. Speaking of which, I actually want to bring our buddy from Giraffe Choke, who he made his living in stocks, and once in a while I call him up for advice. So shout out to Sayers. He would actually be a great person to bring it up, but I know he doesn't want to fucking talk about that shit. He's like, I'd rather talk about jiu-jitsu and MMA.
Well, this is the truth about stocks. It's fucking gambling.
For sure.
It's 100% legal gambling. That's all it is. People think, oh, it's investing, it's this. Yeah, it's investing, but with the hope that it's going to go up. Just like people invest in black on the roulette wheel. Same difference.
But the fucked up part is that now we're to the point where you're better off gambling on that than you are putting in Social Security. But I'm not getting into any of that shit because I think it's funny. You know what I was saying that that pisses me the fuck off with some of these fighters and stuff that you see on TV and on the news and stuff, and I preach it so many times and a lot of people still don't fucking get it, to think ahead of the game. I saw a post today of Jacare with Vitor saying, oh, we're filming for Vitor's upcoming YouTube channel. Like, upcoming YouTube channel. And he's actually reached out to me. His manager reached out to me a long time ago about maybe working with him. This was years ago. I'm like, man, you retired. It's kind of too late. Like, yeah, there'll be a lot of people watching it, but let's be honest. What do you think would have gotten more traction?
How are you going to stay relevant now? That's the question.
Yeah, you're not fighting. You're not.
And you're not that he's a bad guy or anything, but
he's an amazing person.
You got to have a personality that people want to watch.
He's got a good personality.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but he doesn't have
the exposure. No, he doesn't have the exposure that he had even 3 years ago. Let alone, imagine if you would have started it in 2012, and he would have had like the Luke Rockhold fight camp, the fucking Dan Henderson fight camp, stuff like that. Like, man, you could have made so much fucking money. Even the guys that are fucking in their 30s ranking, you could make a fucking killing if you fucking decided to invest. Here's the thing, invest in yourself, and you are a business. And this goes with the jiu-jitsu fighters too. It doesn't have to be a fucking vlog, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but invest in yourselves, man. People don't fucking get that. You think you're gonna win maybe Pan Am's once and you're all of a sudden gonna blow the fuck up. It ain't gonna fucking happen, homie. It's just not.
Well, and the same thing the same thing is for people who want to get sponsored. If you want to get sponsored in jiu-jitsu,
we had to talk with Al from Juan versus Knee.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man, you're
No,
not gonna get
you're
shit.
not gonna
just
get
because,
shit
Oh,
just-
hey, can you sponsor me?
Can you sponsor me? I've won a few tournaments, and I'm a purple belt.
My
and-
mom thinks I'm pretty.
No, dude, you have to be the best of the best, or you have to be a icon. Not so much an icon, but a figure in the.
You have to be able to bring attention. That's
Right,
it.
attention.
You, one form or another, you have to bring attention.
Right.
If you are fucking Joe Schmo and you post one thing like every 2 weeks, you're not gonna get shit. People are like, who the fuck are you? Like, look at The Rock. Look at how busy The Rock is, and he posts constantly. You have to give people a reason to give a fuck. But if you go and you compete here and there, sure, you could compete a lot, but if you don't give people a reason to fucking follow you and listen to you, then no one gives a shit. You're not gonna get a fucking dime. And don't think that because you get free food from some like meal company like here and there, or that local sub shop is fucking sponsoring you, that you fucking made it. You're not shit. Like, if you really, really want to make money, and that's the thing that
And you're not gonna make money from these sponsors. You're
that's
not
what
gonna
pisses
pay
me
you.
off. People are like, there's no money in jiu-jitsu. Yes, there is money. It's not from competing in jiu-jitsu. It's from everything else that you could possibly do in fucking jiu-jitsu.
I still don't think there's enough money.
You're not going to be a fucking millionaire, but you're going to sit there and be able to still fucking go out and do stuff. Like,
To me,
whether
the
it's
only
seminars-
you want to know that you want to make money. Here's the thing: if you want to make money in jiu-jitsu, it's not going to be as an athlete.
Sure.
It's going to be as
a commentator,
or
reporter,
pulling a Wagner Rocha and putting on an event yourself.
yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Wagner Rocha has an event coming up, Major League Grappling, and
Did you find out the rule set on that?
I haven't found out the rule set, but I'm going. It's next Saturday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck, I gotta go. I gotta hit up Wagner.
So, it's the bottom line is it's a the only way you're gonna make money is becoming a promoter of an event that gets big. Like, if Wagner gets a lot of people to do his tournament, which he should get a lot of people, and he's got a cool idea. He's got a team aspect to Major League Wrestling or grappling. Sorry, it's just
You went back to your wrestling roots?
yeah.
That'd be cool if you have it set up. Think of it like a b-boy battle.
Well, that's what it looks like. Have you
Yeah.
seen the videos for it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so it's like they're doing there's I think there's 8 different schools that are in it, and like there's a squad. There's a squad for the whole team. They all have different colors. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool little idea. I'm stoked for it. I'm stoked for the jiu-jitsu community. I think we need more things like that.
Yeah.
And right now, Wagner Rocha's a star in the grappling community.
I think he's making the waves that he should have been making for a while now.
But
for
here's
sure.
the thing, and I believe him when he says this. He's not in it for the money. He wants to promote jiu-jitsu. He wants to bring jiu-jitsu to the next level.
I don't know if it's bring jiu-jitsu to the next level. I think he wants to get rid of the bullshit stuff, and he wants to make a legit tournament where it's not about playing it PC and all this other stuff. It's really having a fight, having a legitimate match. I think that's the thing that probably irks Wagner the most is the PC stuff and the bullshit, that games that people play. I'd love to see him.
If you're not with the right team, or you're not
Yeah.
it's like IBJJF's not going to promote you.
Yeah.
That's not their job, but they do promote certain people.
I don't know if they promote them as much as they use them.
Use them, right?
They use them. There's a big difference, because I don't think they promote Mikey.
No.
They don't promote Mikey. They don't promote, like Nicolini or any of those
They
people.
promote Buchecha.
Yeah, promote Buchecha, because Buchecha will sit there and he's got the insider on that stuff. I mean, but even then, he's.
But
not
it's
gonna-
like here's the thing. IBJJF is I still say it's the biggest.
It's the biggest tournament out there right now.
Not tournament. I'm just saying like the biggest entity organization.
Yeah.
And the problem is they're still kind of antiquated with how their rule set. They're not changing with the times.
Yeah.
Which I get it. You can't always change with the times because you don't know what's a fad and what's not a fad. Like,
well, they shot themselves in the foot with the whole thing that happened with Keenan and like the worm guard and like I understand the switch about the 50-50 to avoid the stalling and things like that, but I think that they are, like you said, they are not changing with the times and they're risking. I don't think so much with the rule set as much as they are with the quality of referees. There's only so many times that people can complain about the referees and the bullshit that happens until people say like, what the fuck? Why are we doing this? Like, I think EBI is great, but they want to make it a show. They're not making it an all across the country like tournament.
Right.
Which I get it, but I think that it really should build up with kind of the EBI setup to a certain extent, and then at the end of the year have legitimate rankings. Here's the thing. You can go and sign up for Worlds. I mean, you got to win Pan Ams to get some extra points, sure, but
well, no, you just have to medal
once.
So,
but that's not really fair. It really should be you fight your way up the ranks. And there should be a bunch of different events almost like on a monthly basis. Like you have like a basketball game, you get your rankings, and then, okay, finally, Worlds are the top 30, 40, 50 people, whatever, of each bracket. And then you have a legitimate event. So you build everything up to the point where it's like, okay, it's the end of the year. This is my fucking, World Cup. This is my World Series. This is what I need to watch to know who's the best of the best. Not who is just good for that day. No, this person fucking kicked
the World Championship should be invitation only.
No, because even then it's still bad. It really should be earned all the way through.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by invitation. Invitation by ranking. Right. So like at the end of the for lack of a better term, season, or end of the year or whatever, you come in December, you do the championship in the beginning of December or something, and it's only the top 8 guys in each weight division.
Well, it should be state to regions to finals and then to the championships. That's the way it should be. So you go and let's say you have. The thing is, it takes a lot of money to put up those events, and it's hard to find enough.
No, I agree. I get it.
But if you wanted to do it right, then that would be the best way to do it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you have shit referees.
I would be fine with doing the top, like doing a by points and getting the top 8 guys from each weight class, and that's your world championship bouts.
Yeah.
The top ranked, guys from each one, and going in, like, and if you win the world championship, the next year you get an automatic invite or something like that.
It's cool that we have a setup where pros can or amateurs can compete against the pros. I think there should be an amateur and pro level for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, there is definitely levels to fucking jiu-jitsu.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that there should be a certain aspect where, let's say, the pros have their championship and then the amateurs have their championships. If you win the amateur championships, you get the opportunity to go up to pros. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of fucked up. Where it's like, okay, let's say I was a black belt, but I only get to train 3 times a week. And then all of a sudden I show up at Worlds, fuck, I gotta go up against Cyborg. That's kind of fucked up. We both know how it's gonna fucking end.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. When I say there's levels to this shit, I mean that. And what I mean by that is, look, I'm a black belt. I don't know if I would say I am average or above average because I've done very well in competitions.
I don't think you've gotten to be tested as much as you should have.
But I don't know where I stand. I could be average. I could be above average. I don't know. But I know this, that if I was to go in against, say, a purple or a brown belt that's in the hunt for a world championship at the adult level, where they're constantly competing, I bet you I would get smoked.
Yeah.
By a purple or a brown belt.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, that are living that life of being a professional jiu-jitsu athlete.
Yeah.
So so that's what I mean when I say there's levels. I understand, dude. I understand that I could potentially be beaten by people who are smaller and younger and lower ranked.
Yeah,
I get that, and I'm not ashamed to say that because I understand where my place is in the jiu-jitsu hierarchy. I know, yes, I'm a black belt, but that doesn't mean I am the ultimate level of jiu-jitsu just because I'm a black belt. I know that I'm not where I can stand and where I can't stand.
Yeah.
So knowing that, I stay in my lane.
Yeah.
I don't.
But I don't think you should look at it like in a place where you shouldn't challenge yourself.
Oh, I don't.
Look at the video that I sent you. Was it yesterday? In where was that? In like the Philippines, right? Where
there's only one reason why I haven't competed over the last year and a half, and that's because of my back.
Because your AIDS.
No, that's
your herpes.
That's been fine.
The super herpes flare.
No, that's good. That's all good. It's literally my back. If I could get my back to even 85%.
Did you look at those stretches that I told you?
No, I don't.
The Bill's Super for Wallace ones?
I don't know those fucking stretches.
Dude, you got to try this.
But if I could get my back to 85%, I would compete. But right now, I would say it's 50%, if that. It's just what happens is if I stand for too long, my back seizes up, or what can happen is if I stand for too long, my right leg starts to feel numb on the kneecap. And it feels like I'm walking weird. Yeah,
you're pinching.
I have a nerve pinch. I got a bunch of shit going on, but it's not. I know it's not a disc or anything because it's on the side of my. Yeah. It's by my hip.
It's your tailbone, like towards the tailbone, like the lumbar.
No, it's over to the right side.
But it's like a sciatic, like all the way down.
Some kind of a weird thing going on. And what I need to do is get back in to see the chiropractor. I started swimming again. That's actually helped a little bit.
It's a big part because you're decompressing your spine.
Yeah, so like I started swimming again. I started doing a bunch of stuff again. But what I need to do is go back to the chiropractor and get on that religiously. Yeah. But it's
just reminded
money.
Me. Yeah.
That's money, and that it costs money just to be normal.
It costs money to be healthy. But you just reminded me. Actually, shout out to our friends over at Novagenics. They ended up on the news. They had a nice interview the other day. I didn't get to actually see the final interview, but the local news channel went over there to the Novagenics office in Jupiter to interview them and get some information about what they do and things like that.
PRP.
Yeah.
And I don't know if PRP would help me.
I don't know if it would help you, but I definitely think you could definitely use it. I think you would dig it. I definitely want to do it for my back and my shoulder, but hey man, if you guys need PRP shots, which I think a lot of athletes do, go check out Novagenics. I just want to give them a big shout out because I haven't spoken to them in a while.
Yeah, you're good guys. Tim Bruce and
Andy and the doc. I forget Doc's name. He's gonna get mad.
Andy Stock.
Andy Stock. Yeah,
and the doc.
Yeah,
the doctor there is a trip. He's fun to talk to.
He's hilarious. And the thing I dig about him is that he's not one of those people that's quick to just throw medications. He does everything possible to keep from giving you any kind of actual medication. He wants to do it as cleanly and naturally as possible until it's like, okay, now you do need this.
Yeah.
So shout out to Novagenics. I think we could wrap it up. It's getting late. We got shit to do still. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
No, not a thing. I just be careful when you wear your rings.
Oh God!
My jiu-jitsu guys, go invest in a silicone ring. Your wife should understand.
Just take off the fucking ring.
Or take off the
man
ring.
Up. Get your balls back, and you can say I'm just rolling. Shout out to all of our sponsors. Big thank you for the support. Thank you to Chocaloha. Go to chocaloha.com. Check out Jit Soap.
Oh, that's the one thing I wanted to talk about.
What?
We'll talk about it next week.
What? What is it?
About the asshole in Chicago that tried to, or he did, copyright Aloha.
Oh, we're going to talk about that next week then. Yeah,
yes.
For sure. We'll wait until we get some more news on that. Go check out jiu-jitsu-soapco.com. Get your bath bombs and your antifungal spray for your clothes, for you, your booty hole. Go clean yourself up. Check out giraffechoke.com and shout out to monstrosbrand.com. Go check them all out. Big thank you to support. And as always, please support the podcast by subscribing. And if you really want to support the podcast, go ahead and buy some of the artwork over at mycosmicjourney.com.
Wait, if you really want to fucking support the podcast, send me money.
No, don't send Shawn
Send me
money.
cash, dollars, in my hand.
I'll take Bitcoin.
I'll take Bitcoin too. Yes, you can send me Bitcoin.
There you go. Hey, what are you doing? Petey getting into the chips. All right, guys. Thank you very much for all the support. We'll catch you guys next time. Go check it out, mycosmicjourney.com. Subscribe, share the podcast.
And follow us singularly.
Muchas love. Go follow Shawn at Gorilla Boy BJJ. And check me out at Sonder Marketing on Instagram. Peace.